They're coming.
I might just put down below, overall, 4.5. Okay. But it's not a calculation. It's a judgment based on what that's looking at. That's saying, but one thing we didn't talk about, that's assuming that you're giving equal weight to all the criteria. Okay? There are times when some criteria can be weighted more. Right? It gets just a little bit tricky, and it's certainly possible in that. And what I've seen that used, that you would indicate, like, oh, I wouldn't do that if I had a list as long as the criteria that we have, because then it's hard to look at, okay, this one is, you know, worth twice as much as this one's worth 3 times as much. You really make yourself crazy trying to go from that to a grade. Okay? So for me, it's easier just to say, to treat them as they're giving me little points, right? And I come up with an overall. Or sometimes in one of those rubrics, it had the scale at the top and each one, and you check as you go along and make some comments. And the bottom said overall, and it repeated the scale. And so I might, on the student's paper, say overall, it was very good. Okay. And when I'm doing my grades, I translate that into a number. It's a 4. And I don't have any problem there, you know, instructors will say it's a 4.5. And I, you know, some of the engineering instructors will say, you know, well, overall it's a 4.2. Well, okay. No, I don't get crazy about that. They're comfortable calling it a 4.2, as long as they're not calling it a 4.2, 0.7, 0.9. Okay. And thinking there's a difference. See, that's the big thing. It's not so much that you use the number 4.3, but that you recognize there is not a measurable difference between 4.3 and 4.4 and 4.5. Okay? That it's a false sense that this is continuous data and there is a difference. That 4.4 is more than 4.3. Okay? If I'm measuring coffee and I had 4.4 kilos of coffee, that's more than 4.3 kilos of coffee. But if I'm saying 4.4 goodness or 4.4 quality, is that more than 4.3 quality? I don't know. What does that mean? Okay, so you have to be careful about what you're measuring. But it seems to be an indicator that we're moving. Is there a difference between 4 and 5? Absolutely, because you set your scale that way. But those fine distinctions. But now coming to the final grade at the end of the course, this is where I would weight things. You know, if the disciplinary content I want that to weight more than some of these others, I might say that this. Okay, let's continue this. Let's continue this after the break. But that's an important issue that will help you.